Hello, and we are back. As an update regarding the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 run, we have decided to merge the incentives. The glitch exhibition, I can't say the word glitch now, combined with the Shadow kick scene. We decided to put them together. We've been matching all of our incentives so far, just thought we'd combine the two for this one. Our run's going to be Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, specifically Silver Story, with our runner FocusSight. Hello, Focus.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Focus here. Been running this game for 7 years. That means a month of my life's been load screens. Pretty fun. Yeah, it's I'm really hopeful we can hit this incentive. I practiced specifically for it. It is in fact, even though two previous runs ago, the runner there she said this game is pretty much a quick exhibition. Yes and no. We have some stuff that's outside of the realm of the run, so I really encourage you. I've practiced for this. This is going to be a fun one. Other than that, really, Sonic 06 is, we run this on Xbox 360. I'll explain why later in the run. Why is it called no monosodium glutamate? It's not called that. It's called no mission select glitch. I'll explain what mission select glitch is in the run as well, and we'll see how all this goes. So, I'm pretty hopeful for how this will go. Been pretty fun running this category, always is. Yeah. I think with that, I'm ready to start soon. So is the timer ready? Everyone ready on the timer?
I'm ready.
Okay, awesome. Is that? Let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so first major thing we have in Silver's story is a glitch called Telefling. So Telefling is based off the object mechanics in Sonic 06. Most importantly, you can interact with objects in two ways. First way is to pick up the object from afar, and that is done by just holding RT from a distance. The second is to hold RT while on top of it, and you'll lift the object. However, the game didn't really account for the fact that you can get out of range and then back into range while on top of an object. While grabbing it, I mean. So, for instance, with a sphere here, if I jump out of range, hold RT, and then go back in range, we get something known as Telefling. The game rotates the object constantly while it's picked up. So spheres, for instance, are much easier to Telefling off of. But because the objects are supposed to be set a certain distance above and away from Silver, we effectively can use this mechanic to come right on an object as long as we are able to stand on it while it rotates. Spheres are the best for this, but you can do this off of rocks, boxes, signs, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to change my settings on my phone in the middle of the run because I have the Twitch chat up, so if any of you want to ask me a question, feel free to. And of course, being this game, I can change it. I can change my phone settings in the middle of the run, because why wouldn't I be able to? Now we have Blaze, second major playstyle in the game. Of Silver Story, I should say. There are 3 major playstyles, one of which we'll only see in one mission, which is Amy. Blaze is the fastest character in terms of base movement speed for Silver Story, but is not the fastest character later in the run. I'm going to do something here, or try something here, called the Advanced Fire Claw. So there is a move actually called the Spinning Claw, but we call it the Advanced Fire Claw because, I don't know. Fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not getting it, so I'm just going to go through the stage normally. We'll see the EFC again sometime soon, do not worry. The Advanced Fire Claw involves that move right there, which is actually known as the Spinning Claw. The Spinning Claw has 2 different states. One which is done from the ground, which maintains your ground speed, but does not last very long. The duration is very low, in other words. And there's a second one that's done if you start in the ground and then activate it in the air mid-jump, you'll actually have a longer duration. So there's a single frame between the start of the jump and when letting go of to activate the Spinning Claw that allows you to get the speed from that rail and convert it into airborne speed, which allows us to skip that entire enemy section and that automated section. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but that's a hard trick to get, honestly. There are 2 other AFCs, though, in this run. Again, we call it Advanced Fire Claw because misnomers. The Fire Claw is actually the homing attack move that Blaze has. Either way, now we're Blaze in Silver's section. No biggie. What I did there was a frame buffered input at the load screen. So before I loaded into this area, I actually was holding X, and I let go of X on the load screen. What that does is the game then sets that input to be the first input of the next zone you load into. So that allows us to break out of that automated section as Blaze and go around Silver's load trigger, and that allows us to finish this area as Blaze, which is faster than Silver's movement at this point in time. And with that, we're done Crisis City. So already the first stage of the game is extremely, extremely broken, which is not surprising from this game, to be honest. You're going to see a lot more than this. I can tell you that right now.
I had no idea you could do that with Blaze.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, honestly. It's used actually, yeah, it's used twice, that same input. And one of them is from the save screen, which is really interesting. Anyways, next is the first boss, Iblis, who is the main boss of Silver's story, sort of the main antagonist of the plot of the game, if you want to call it a plot. So major thing with Silver is object mechanics. So as Silver, really, all you got for bosses is whatever objects you can pick up and throw. So important factors to note about this. A, you actually throw objects in the order you pick them up. So if an object is behind another one you've already grabbed, and if it feels like you're going to throw it against it, it will, and it will destroy both objects. So be very careful with how you throw things. Secondly, with bosses in particular, you actually need to be careful to avoid having invincibility frames ruined, because the game has invincibility frames for all bosses, a set time after each hit. So if you hit too quickly, you're going to just waste ammo, it'll explode, and you won't get anything from it. I actually was very tight at the end there. You want to get what we call these Cocoa Puffs that Iblis throws, because of course they're called Cocoa Puffs. And in batches, because that's how Cocoa Puffs are produced. You want to get them in sort of batches, and you want to get, for the fastest time, really good luck from picking that up. Unfortunately, I had to throw all of them for the third section, and then I had only 3 available for the fourth, which is exactly what I needed. So it was very tight there, but we still got it. And while we're in this section, we can actually read donations, so if there are any donations.
Currently, there are no new donations as of the moment. However, when you make your donation to Global Giving, don't forget to put your money towards one of our many incentives we've got going on. You can select one while making your donation, apply your funds to the goal or the viewer's choice poll that you'd most like to see in the marathon, like our fancy Sonic Glitch exhibition. If you want to see a full list, you can use command ! incentives in the chat.
Yeah, please do donate. It's all for a good cause. Anyways, I'm going to try for something insane here. Probably not going to get it. I did not. Let me try one more time. This is a telelaunch, which is actually based off the telefling. If I can get it, you'll see what it does, but we'll see it again later anyway. Okay. So I didn't break through the ceiling, but that was still a telelaunch, technically. So telelaunching is based off the telefling. Essentially, if we're teleflinging on something, the game thinks it's an object we're grabbing from far away. So it's like, oh, you can throw it. But because you're on top of it, it means you stay on top of it while it's being thrown. And that means it's perpetually in that thrown state. Once it's in that thrown state, you can actually lift it again as if you were on top of it. And the physics basically go like, well, okay, you're throwing something, so the acceleration needs to go really far, but then you're guiding it upwards. So effectively, you just rocket skyward. We use that at least once in the run. You have to use it at least once. Which could be the real killer of this run, Kingdom Valley, but we'll see. Anyways, Tropical Jungle. Since I'm already doing crazy stuff, might as well try for a telelaunch on a box, which is really difficult. The easier something is to telefling off of, the easier it is to telelaunch, because the window is larger. Because Silver, when he throws, has a throwing animation and also the lift animation, so you need to be able to stay on long enough to actually have both of those happen, and sometimes the game's just like, nope. Unfortunately, I did not get a telelaunch there. I was really close, I just threw too early. But we can just still complete this another way. Notice that I have the camera held down. This stage is very laggy if you actually try to spawn in everything. But holding the camera down like this makes the lag reduce. Sometimes you just can't avoid the lag, like here, because I'm using a claw grip here. Now, sometimes you can see Silver moves farther forward than he normally is able to, and also recharges his gauge. That's what's known as a levitation extension, or LE. Levitation extensions are based on the fact that the stun slap is really broken. I actually didn't explain the water jumping earlier. That's also not intended. But like the stun slap move effectively works because it stores momentum of whatever the last thing you had in your animation was. So like the momentum of my hover is being stored there because I held X on the last frame of its animation. It is a 1-frame window, which makes it really difficult to practice, but essentially I think of it like this. I have a claw grip. As soon as I let go of A, hold X. I can feel my thumb sort of move up from A, and that's when I start to hold it. Really important trick to keep in mind.
How did that water trick work?
It held the momentum of the jump move and then reversed it. So the jump height was held, and then that reversed it, so it skipped on water. It's not really. It's actually, you can water jump through that entire stage, but it's actually faster to go atop and then use LEs to go because it's faster. Anyways, I've just done another one of those frame inputs on this load screen so I can skip this automated section. And we're going to do a 360 exclusive glitch known as the loop launch. So this is not possible on PS3 because the load triggers on the loop do not work the same way on PS3. But if I align myself just right as Blaze here, and I press X to Fire Claw at just the right time, we can warp all the way over here because the loop launch itself, the way the loop launch works basically is, it's essentially a homing attack with, as we call it. Let's see if I get this. This is also hopefully real. Oh shoot, this is real. Okay, so this is the advanced Fire Claw on water. I just can't take this reaction right now. So this is beautiful, actually. Really good wave motion Blaze. Better than my world records run. So that's really nice, actually. That was a stage. How do I explain all this when there's not enough time? I actually might gold this split on my own end. Just let's wait and see. Oh, it's very close to a gold. Well, that's something. That was the cleanest I've ever gotten in a marathon for that stage. But there are a few things at play there. The loop launch itself only works on 360 because only the 360 has homing attack like triggers on that loop itself. So what we're essentially doing there is trying to like aim towards the trigger without actually hitting it. The game then perpetuates that Fire Claw in Blaze's case, or homing attack in Sonic, until you hit another piece of collision. And the collision I hit there is aiming to be right before that boardwalk. Then with the AFC, which I already explained earlier, there's basically a one-frame window between jumping and letting go of the X button to perform the spinning claw, where you can maintain the speed from your rail. And that allows us to then take all that speed and just go around that area and then skip all the way to the end there. So yeah, that's Sonic 06, everyone. That was perfect, honestly. I've never gotten a Wave Motion. Wave Motion Blaze is the most finicky stage in the entire run. So getting a 44 there, first try, is actually a miracle. Anyways, normally here we're supposed to do a mission called Mission 8. It's to our left. We don't need to. The mirror here is still active regardless, and we use something called the box clip, or the lift clip, I guess. Because you can do this off of a lot of different objects. In fact, we're going to use it here in Dusty Desert, my favorite early game stage, to skip a lot of the stage. So, the reason why this works is because if you have the lift function works up until a set height. If you're able to then lift an object with a flat bottom against a ceiling that's flat, you'll be pushed through the roof. So for instance here, I'm just going to let these rotate on their own. We actually have no control how they rotate. Let them rotate on their own. I now have a flat here. I can just lift it and then jump through. That allows me to then land on this door over here as it lifts. Let me try that again. You need to be very careful with how you hover there, otherwise you could overshoot it really easily. So if I just jump through here and then land on the door, I'm going to play it really safe. 1, 2. There we go. We then get lifted above here by the game's own automation, and allows us to then aim for this area out of bounds. This skips the entirety of the first ball puzzle with the what's it called, like the billiards sort of puzzle, the entirety of the sand room, the entirety of Amy's section, and allows us to see Silver as a clone. And this is definitely faster than doing any of this normally, even if you mess it up a few times like I did. Now we're in the air again. I'm trying to use LEs to regain my bar. Again, once you get the timing down, it's not too bad, but it's still one frame in a 60 FPS game, which is not easy. We're going to use the box clip again over here to skip another batch of enemies, and also the second sand room, and also yet another batch of enemies, because this game is well designed. I'm going to use the AI of the robots here to stun themselves against the edge there. And as soon as we got that going, I can push this up against the door, and yet again jump through the ceiling, go around to over here. Now there's a narrow seam, very narrow seam, right to the right here. There's not much you can do if you get pushed, if you fall too far to the right, because it's an empty hole. If you go too far to the left, you actually get pushed by the sand wall. So you need to play it very carefully here, not to fall off. So far, so good. If you go too far to the left, you're actually going to even though you're in bounds or out of bounds, the sand wall will still impact you. The sand wave. So I'm being very careful just to stay just out of bounds enough to have it be worthwhile. Okay, there we go. And this skips the entirety of that sand room, the entirety of the first enemy section, and the entirety of the enemy section to the left there. Stop me if I speak too fast.
Oh, no.
This game goes by fast, so I'm trying to speak like an auctioneer just to get it through. But anyways, so normally you have a ball puzzle here, pretty infamous one. And this is yet again another box-based glitch, BBG, I guess. This one's a bit different though. It doesn't actually work the same way as any of the other ones we've seen thus far. The reason why this works is due to something it's a similar but different principle. The ceiling of this area is actually a bit too high up, so we can't actually use the same exploit. But just perfectly, the collision here aligns in such a way that I land on top of the door, and I'm able to just walk through after that. Because if you actually got to the ceiling there, which you can do if you get the two boxes stacked on top of each other, if you get to the ceiling there, you actually jump back and bounce. So that's the only way to clip through that final room. Other than if you go back and do it in a different, you'll see later in the later half of the game that there is more insanity than I've shown here. This is just the beginning.
Ooh, we have a few donations towards the incentive.
Ooh, let's go.
We have $20 from Nithra Mortel and $10 from Ian Keith. We need this glitch exposition, expedition, exploration, whatever it's called.
Examination, other words beginning with E, E-series, expedition, yes. Anyways, I really like the aesthetic of Soliana quite a bit. It's very calming. It's based off Venice. So, they really just nailed how, it's supposed to feel very tranquil, very calming, a very normal video game stuff. And yes, I did time that for this boss. I killed him a bit too early. Oh no, that's the worst time you can possibly get, actually. Notice how I get an S rank here. You can get a 13-second time without any rings and be guaranteed an A rank. Every S rank in a main stage gives you an additional 5.5-second animation. So this boss is so short that actually getting 12 seconds like that is the longest possible one I could get. Unfortunate, but we're still on good pace. Anyways, at this point, I'm actually going to do something fairly new to the run. I routed this out after a friend of mine, Otanishi, thought of implementing this, and I was like, you're crazy, and so I'm like, well, no, actually, I'm crazy, and so I'm going to try it. Remember I mentioned telelaunching before, how we can throw an object while we're teleflinging, and then we were able to lift it again. Well, while it's hard for certain things that rotate to actually telelaunch, certain things like boxes are really difficult to get, rocks occasionally, anything that's spherical tends to be best. Another thing that's actually fairly consistent, I'm going to regret saying fairly consistent after failing this probably 4 times or something, is signs in the hub world. So the signs actually really only exist on 2 planes. They don't really rotate much because they can only rotate around their own pole. So we can predict roughly where they're going to go. So I'm going to take the speed 60 sign, which, doesn't make any sense in many ways. What kind of speed is it? And is it even a limit? It just says speed. And we're going to try... Okay, that's actually decent. Okay, I'm going to try to then telefling off of it, and then telelaunch by throwing it after. So let me just see if I can get this set up. This is faster than the previous method we used, which is used another box, but... Okay, I'm not... You can see sometimes I pick it up and then immediately let go. That means I've not thrown it in time, or I've thrown it too early. So I need to just play this out and be patient. This is a good glitch to show anyhow. Oh, so close. Let me try that again. So you actually... So the ceilings in this game are kind of weird. If you have, the object at, a flat angle, it's probably not going to break through. Which is weird because we've used a flat angle to then break through almost every other wall a different way. Don't question the game. Just question your own life choices playing this game. Sign's not gonna... Okay. This is not being nice, but I'm still going to show this off no matter what, because this is a good trick. By now, I've already wasted enough time that the box method would be faster at this point, but, I mean, you don't get to see speed 60, every day. There we go. So, we now get massive height, and that allows us to just fly over to the White Acropolis Mirror, which is still active. This skips a normally required item known as the Shock Bracelet. So the Shock Bracelet is a stun slot, is a sort of a ground pound stun move that actually busies up the X button, which means you can't hold it anymore. We want the X button available to be held. So as soon as the X button is available to be held, I'm really good at describing words with English. We need that for later in the run, a little bit later. So we actually want to skip, even though the Shock Bracelet, the move shown on the screen, is really useful casually, because it basically means you can use the other method of Silver, of destroying enemies, which is, if you don't have objects, you can stun enemies when they're vulnerable, and that means you can then pick them up and let them go, and that means they're pretty much dead after that. So So it's actually faster in a lot of cases. By the way, you don't need to defeat the enemies there. Just ignore the game's own device, you know? Good stuff. This is also the last we'll see Blaze. Obviously not in the marathon, but in this run. We end with an AFC here. It's a bit difficult to get because the game lags hard and also is not very nice with how you have to do. Because in order to do the AFC on ground, you actually do need to have some time after, like, a dash panel, for instance. And the dash panels are how we build up speed anyhow, so it's really weird to get. Let's see if I can get it. First try, awesome. That allows us to then clip through this enemy here. We don't need to defeat the enemies again, Blaze. Please stop saying that. That was really smooth.
That's crazy to watch.
I love your complete and utter befuddlement of this, Yeen. I'm so glad.
I am in love right now. So in love with this right now.
Well, you're not going to be in love with this section, because there's actually no major skip, unfortunately, in this area. We have to go through the slowest section of Silver. Silver actually becomes the fastest character with glitches that is controllable in this game, because, as you know, with the loop launch there, you go really fast, but you can't really control where you're going. You just have to sort of, like, it's like a bow and arrow. You need to make sure you're aiming in the right spot and then release at the right time. Suddenly Wii Sports Resort music came in my head. I don't know why. But, like, that's what that happens with the loop launch. You can't really control it after you execute it. Whereas with this glitch we're going to have upcoming with Silver, known as the ETD, you're going to have a lot of control and a lot of potential to go fast. So, yeah. Any other donations at this time, by the way? This is a really good time as well.
At this time, currently no, but oh dear. If you missed any of the prayer runs or the segments of any of your favorite hosts, you can catch the entire marathon again once it's over. All videos from the event will be posted to our YouTube page shortly after it concludes. You can use the command YouTube in chat for a link, ! YouTube, and be sure to subscribe while you're there.
Someone mentioned that you need to play 06 again. I will be happy to teach you. I know my ways with this game.
Yeah, sure.
That was a really good White Acropolis. Very, very nice. So I'm going to mention a little bit of a tangent here. S ranks in this game. I've actually been routing really recently. Essentially what is the 100% category for this story, which is all gold medals. So far it stands at about, I mean, my world record for it's like 225, although my sum of best is 213, so it's a hard one to do. Because it's, you have to get all the silver. If you don't know those 6, the 100% requirements are essentially get all the silver medals in the stages, complete all the story missions with an S rank, complete all the missions that are in the hub world with an S rank, complete all the hard mode stages with an S rank, and that's basically it. But it takes a bit of a while. That being said, silver medal routing is super fun because it's essentially the Wild West of this game. Barely anyone's tried it, so it feels completely brand new to me. Whereas Silver Dawn MSG has sort of become like knowledge in the back of my hand, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Anyways, this boss is cyclic. I'm going to try to destroy it from here, and then pick up enough missiles to destroy the next 2 phases from here. Takes 6 hits. If any of you played the boss in Sonic's story, you know that you actually don't need to get on top of the boss. You actually can hit that orange thing. That's because the game developers didn't actually remove that vulnerability from Silver's story and Sonic's version of the boss, and so it's still there. And in fact, that's not the intended way you're supposed to do it at all. You're supposed to get on top of the boss as Sonic, bounce bracelet 3 times, and then get kicked off. But because that vulnerability was left in place from this story, it is a valid method, which is you could just hit it twice from below, and then bounce bracelet and get done. A lot of people don't realize that that's the reason why, but it is the reason why you can do that.
I did not know that.
Anyways, we have the best mission coming up, everyone. I hope you guys are ready for some Amy action. This is going to be sweet. Amy is, Amy's Amy. We love Amy, but Amy's Amy.
Why is she invisible?
That is the most useless move I've ever experienced in any video game ever. Not only, I mean, it's a big step down from SA1, but of course, we love Mission 12, defeat the pursuers and escort Elise. Who doesn't? This is a good time for me to talk about, also, thank you for the raid, Pilot Shep, appreciate it. So, here's a good time to talk about differences between PS3 and 360. If you guys have noticed, load times are pretty decently long in this game, right? I assume that many people think it's pretty long. These are the fast loads. These are the loads that you get when you download the game to your console, which improves load times by 10 to 15 seconds per load, compared to the vanilla copy of the game. The PS3 has no method of downloading the game to your console, so without hacking. And because of that, the PS3 version is slower by about 10 minutes in each story, just due to load times. So So for instance, now there's a good way to compare between like different versions. PS3 is like the best time you can get for like Sonic no MSG, which is like one of the major categories. I think the world record's like for PS3 is like 125. Current world record's 56 minutes on Xbox 360. Xenia, which is an Xbox 360 emulator, has had a lot of stuff with 06 because it's a launch window title, good title to test with. The load times on Xenia are like, so for the first initial load into Xbox 360 for Sonic Story, it's about 28 seconds on average if you don't have... There's something known as fast loads that applies to Shadow and Sonic Story, but not to Silver, which is weird. It's something with overheating your console. I know.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's sort of a mystery how it happens, but you can miraculously get a load times for Sonic and Shadow Story that are about a minute faster than normal. There's no known method for Silver. So, yeah. But if we're comparing like the normal base time, it's about 28 seconds to load into Sonic Story if you have regular loads. On Xenia, it's 7. As a whole, 7, a fourth. So Xenia is much slower, or much faster. That being said, we're actually working on a loadless timer in general with 06, so that all versions can be technically viable. That being said, it's actually going to remove some pretty interesting tech that we're actually going to get here later in the run. I do a glitch that is specific, or a trick that's specifically done because the load times are too long. And it's going to look crazy, but it still saves time. For now, though, we use RTA, and that's just sort of how we do. I'm going to mention a few more things about PS3 that I forgot to mention. That mission as Amy is actually faster on PS3. Because the PS3 version spawns boxes differently, so there are explosive boxes that automatically sort of erupt on PS3 there that don't on 360, and that means those 4 enemies I had to slowly hammer, they're insta-killed on PS3.
Just for starting the stage?
Yeah. Because the way you load into that area makes it such that you just the boxes instantly explode. And then they're just like, well, here's the spike balls. Oh, they're dead. Oh, I can just move on. Anyways, you might be wondering what the heck we're even doing right now. I just got the Heart of Wind, which allows us to do a move called the Teleport Dash. Now, I mentioned earlier that the Stun Slap move has some interesting properties relative to its momentum. The Teleport Dash is the fastest normal movement form of transport of Silver Story. So we can store that by hitting on the last frame of the animation, holding the X button or hitting the X button, and it'll allow us to convert that momentum from the Teleport Dash and hold it for longer, allowing stuff like this. Every one of those inputs is a single frame. I have to get it on the exact frame every time. And while that might sound daunting at first, the fact is it's exactly the same frame every time, no matter what. So even if the game lags a little bit, you actually still need to wait, because it's, I think, the 7th frame of the animation, the final frame. Which means that with enough muscle memory, you're able to get it a pretty good amount of the time. I also input it in a really strange way compared to some runners. I actually flick up into the X button after double tapping A, which is you double tap A to do the teleport dash, the X button Sun Slap, which means I have to have a fingernail there, otherwise it actually hurts my fingers. So real pain, guys. I actually think my thumb's development after learning this story for so long is actually going to be completely ruined, but it's okay. This is a good category, and I'm willing to do it for charity. I'm not getting a lot of them right now, though, but it's the fastest form of movement controllable in the game. So there are 2 forms of it. The ATD is like this, which has a limited distance, but if you hold the X button like that, it's less limited. We skipped the shock bracelet earlier. The reason why I did that sign telelaunch in White Acropolis, before White Acropolis, was to skip the shock bracelet item. Otherwise, you would have your momentum completely ruined. It would just completely go into that sort of ground pound move, and you wouldn't have anything to do. So that's why we skipped that, even though it's a useful combat item. It prevents us from doing that, and of course you want to do that. Who wouldn't want to fly as this 14-year-old psychokinetic boy? Like, it's the best thing you can possibly do in a video game.
Ooh, we have another $20 donation from Too Long.
Awesome. Thank you guys for donating so much. I really appreciate it. So now we have Shadow's boss, which I'd argue is the most annoying boss in the run so far. So Shadow is like Sonic in that it's the same sort of, you need to throw things at Shadow in order to defeat Shadow, in much the same sort of AI as Sonic. But the thing is, the available items you have here are significantly less. Shadow takes 24 hits, and you have range about 27? So you need most of those things to hit. And sometimes it can be really frustrating. That was an excellent Shadow, though. We didn't even have to get the barriers to respawn. So that's excellent. That's actually really good. Sometimes you can also get it such that Shadow's corpse is on screen. That's fun. If you have the right positioning. That actually happened at GDQ. I'm really happy with that. But yeah, that was actually a really good Shadow boss. Let's go. We have to skip the cutscene, though. We need to get that incentive, though. I will show it afterwards. If we hit that incentive, I will show it afterwards.
Of the finger thing, thank you for confirming to me that Sonic 06 can actually cause physical pain.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal, honestly. I think everyone experiences a pain with 06 from time to time. Funny thing about 06, though, it's actually pretty stable compared to other games or other Sega titles around the time. I've only ever had the game crash, like, full crash 6 times in my 8 years of playing it. Whereas I've had Shadow the Hedgehog crash about 12 times on the same cutscene, which is something. Anyways, that just skipped a huge portion of that stage. Well, let me just see if I can actually finish it. That just skipped about a 4-minute portion of that stage. The final room is actually just behind us in Aquatic Base, so we can just clip through that door, do an SCT to that final room, clip through the door again, destroy the enemies, we're done. Normally you're supposed to play a Shadow there, and then back to Silver and do a lot of stuff. No, we don't need that. And in fact, the SCT is just broken. This is because in 06, pretty much all you need to clip through anything is the right speed and geometry. So for instance, I can clip right through here, maybe, if I can get this aligned right. Ooh, kind of. Okay, I got the backup anyhow. And that skips that entire section. Basically, again, Silver is by far the fastest controllable character at this point because of that glitch. It is really cool to see because it actually makes this a really fun sort of run. Imagining this category without it would be very difficult for me. It would be very slow. And a lot of people complain about how Silver is the slowest character in the game. And in fact, Silver, because of this run, is the fastest. I was trying for something called Hoping Clip there. You can clip through that if you get an SCP and then just go right through, but I didn't get it quite right, but that's okay. Because, of course, what are doors? Now, we actually need to defeat the enemies in this final section, which shows the weaknesses of not having the Shock Bracelet. Also, thank you, Bach. This is what I'm saying, when you need to be careful of your own items, because sometimes they can just explode if you aren't careful. The most annoying ones are these Mephiles birds. They suck, because they're kind of random, and the only way you can really kill them very easily is by stunning them, and it just doesn't work sometimes because they're really high, and you only have the stun slap as a move. So, yeah, pain. Okay, that was okay. Now I can stun this final enemy pretty quick. Oh, let me just, I guess, use this. Yeah, it's a lot of combat stuff. You just need to be... Okay, I did not do that right. Well, this enemy here is automatically stunnable if you just stand near it, and that allows us to finish the stage right there.
All right, we have a few more donations.
Go right ahead. I'm happy to hear them. I'm happy to see people supporting this.
All right, we have one from Let's Play TK, $100.
Let's go!
Of course, I have to support this great cause. Let's hit that glitch exhibition. Can we get a $5 donation train going? We also got another one for $4 from Zakame the Daddy Bull. I just wanted to get the number to 69.
Yes, the number is at 69, so congrats. And this is probably the most memey part of the run. Like, this is inherently the most memey part of the run. I love this part. This is mission 14. So if any of you played 06, you know there's an escort mission here, Silver. Something, it's called Protect Anna, -- space, really, really formatted. She knows the secret. We all joke in the 06 community that the secret is the town is named after her. So, like, that's the big secret, and suddenly, oh, I can go check the trials out. Because this game makes a lot of sense. Look, it's really weirdly formatted. Protect Anna, -- line break. She knows the secret. I don't even think we learn what the secret is in this game.
Why does she have a voice actress compared to everybody else?
That's also something kind of weird. There's another NPC that has voice acting as well, and I forget who she is, but I think it's like a random mission in Sonic's story. Anyways, normally you're supposed to, like, protect her, and she stops whenever enemies appear, and you need to wait to defeat all the enemies, and then she'll go through again. The thing is, it's all dependent upon what enemies are spawned, so we can just wait at the beginning here, and she'll go on to the very end by herself. And the mission is completed as soon as she's reached the end. We don't even need to be there. So another additional thing is actually not only have we gone from we've gone from ignoring her to now actively threatening her because we want to spawn the enemies behind her in order for her to run a little bit faster, and that means the mission is getting done a little bit faster. So now that she's just gonna walk to the end, I'm just gonna go over here and mess about out of bounds. If there are any donations at this time, please read them. This is an easy minute worth of free time. I'm gonna just mess around with the NPCs that are out here. So
we do have a few more. Oh,
I love how this has broken you so much. I appreciate it.
Rudolph Fahrenheit, $5. There ain't no getting off of this train we're on. Let's get that glitch exclamation.
Let's go, glitch exclamation.
Firebird Lover, $5. Choo choo.
Trying to get barrel captain, but it's not working. That's actually usually I use this barrel, and if I can get it on top of this NPC as like a false you know, people have good luck charms. This is my good luck charm, and apparently it's not gone well. So let's just meet Bob McFloaty over here. This NPC normally doesn't float in the hub world, and he is there, but he floats here for whatever reason.
Oh.
We love him. He's the true owner of Soliana. And that's the mission done. That was definitely a stage. Oh, you can die. By the way, someone said you can die. If you die in that actually restarts the entire mission. So don't die. Also, what do you mean all NPCs don't have voice acting? Hey, there's a real line. Come on now.
Oh, right.
Full voice acting.
Of course. No, she would just take off like that.
It's funny because no one realizes that, and it makes the entire mission. A lot of people struggle on this mission casually, and it's one of the easier missions to do in the run. And honestly, we thought that was PS3 exclusive due to the same despawning things because they spawn differently. Between PS3 and 360. No one tested it on 360 until I decided, and I'm just like, shoot, I'll go try for this world record, and I got the IL world record for that because you do almost nothing for it. Anyways, here's where we're gonna get really crazy, everyone. I know this run has seemed crazy so far, and it has been. But this is a trick that not a lot of people do. And I have spent the past 2 years pretty much learning how to do this in any sort of marathon. Before, like, 2017, you would never see this in a marathon. But I'm going to try something now called Trial Skip. So normally at this point, you need to complete 3 missions to get an eagle to get to the top of the Kingdom Valley castle over there. And that has the Kingdom Valley mirror. The game devs were so generous and kind to not program the mirror to be inactive, so the mirror is still active. And I can just hover here for the time being. Sir, I'm currently in the middle of a marathon right now. Anyways. Father time. Once I'm on this wall here, I can use the levitation extensions, which I mentioned earlier, to keep my momentum and regain my bar. The important thing is I regain my bar, which means I can then hover even more up this piece of collision. And we're just getting a lot of height here, essentially, at this point. We're not even at the hardest part of this trick. This trick goes on for about 3 minutes, and it skips all 3 of those missions. And those missions in game time take about 2 minutes at most together. The load times are what makes it really lengthy. So this is only faster because of the load times. So I'm kind of got thrown off by the fact my father came into the room in the middle of this run. So let me just try to reorientate myself. But yeah, every time I do an LE, there's only a 1-frame window. So it's really difficult if you don't know the rhythm really well. Good news is it's actually really easy to do them off long ones. Like if you hover for a long time, you can get it really easy because of that sort of letting go of A feeling. But if you're just pressing A like this, it's harder to get it more consistently. This is wall 2. It's a very generous wall. And as soon as you get to the top of wall 2, I can then hover over here and reset the camera behind me. And I'll tap lightly over to wall 3. This wall is very steep. And this wall requires me to do about 10 of these in a row, otherwise I'll fall off. So let's see if I can get it. Okay, I'm gonna have a full bar, and as soon as I get a full bar, I'm just gonna hover up again. This wall is at a weird angle. What you see is also not what you get this entire time. The visuals have been a lie. I fooled you all. No. So the game developers didn't expect you to actually get up here. So what we actually see is not the actual physical geometry. This is sort of like a slanted gradient. It sort of goes up at like a slight angle, and it has this weird sort of thing. If you're too far to the left, you'll fall off, and hovering will actually push you further down. If you're too far to the left, you'll actually hit a ceiling. So you need to be like right in between the two in order to get the most recovery time. So if I just, press X at the right time and re-angle my camera to sort of hit that, I can just keep on the wall, regaining my bar as I go, and allowing me to hover once more. As soon as the bar is full here, I'm able to then hover up yet again, and this is the last time we'll be hovering up, to get just enough height to hit over to here, which is a little pillar. This also has collision, fortunately. It allows us to then regain our bar once more here. And once I reach here, almost died there. Nice. That would have wasted 4 minutes. Once I get here, I'm able to hover to the top of the mirror, and that is trial skip. That skips the 3 missions, and because of load screens, it's faster by about 2 minutes. Even with faster load screens like on Xenia, this is still faster if you get it perfectly by about 20 seconds.
Ooh, anything to avoid loading screens, huh?
I am really sorry for the interruption here. I'm, everyone being together in the same room, family and stuff. A lot of stuff. I didn't tell my family about this earlier. Should have done so. But anyways, here's a tele-launch at the beginning. This one's really annoying to get, so hopefully I can get it. Okay, I failed that, but luckily there's a 1-up right down here, so we can just hit it and then restart and still have our same lives. Because if you game over here, you have to do trial skip over again. I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, this rock is really annoying because it doesn't rotate really, super consistently, so you need to be able to, align yourself, and then you might get a consistent setup. You also need it, as I mentioned, at a slight angle in order to clip through a ceiling, because the game won't push you through otherwise. Or you'll just fall off like that, so this rock is really annoying. As you can see, it also breaks occasionally. This is, again, after all that, you still have this, so it's quite a game. Quite a video game right now. Are there any donations, by the way, while I'm trying this?
Currently, no, but we have about halfway made our way to the goal of the glitch exhibition for
That's
Sunday.
amazing. Will the rock respond? Thank you, Rock. Appreciate it. Okay, never mind, Rock. I thought you were my friend. Oh, man. This could take a little while sometimes because the game's just like, nope. Also, that can happen.
Oh.
Should be able to get this still. Yeah, you need to get the right exact timing. That was just too quick. Just a little bit quick. That was a bit too late. All sorts of varieties of mess-ups here today, everyone. Yeah. Somehow I got this first try in a few runs, and I don't know how, because this trick hates me, to be honest. This rock is an evildoer. It's a true enemy here. Iblis was birthed from this rock. That's my canon in this game. Oh boy. Yeah, this is annoying, but I need to make sure I have enough lives. So we will continue on and hopefully not die too much here. I once accidentally quitted from this area, or almost did, in a marathon, and that was the most harrowing thing alive. Because that meant I would have had to start over at the Anna mission, actually. Because there's no save point between here and the Anna mission. You would have to restart all of Anna's mission over again. So that's why I'm being very cautious here, and just letting it see how it goes. Honestly, this is the reason why the estimate's an hour long. Not even trial skip anymore, it's this rock. Which is basically, at this point, lost all the time I gained. But that's okay, this rock is annoying, and you would have to do it anyway. Okay, I'm being a bit risky by not getting another life, but... Come on. Everyone, just give me... I don't know, please clap or something. Oh boy. Thank you. I know, I try my hardest here. But yeah, this is what makes this, any sort of silver thing hard. I know I make it look easy sometimes, but this category is kind of brutal. Also, you get to hear great, and you get to hear the same line like 17 times. Who doesn't love it? Great voice acting. Yeah, we're still on time to get estimate, by the way. We should be fine. I'm throwing it too early. Man, this is not fun when you get it like this. Sometimes the stage can just be really mean and not give you anything. I might actually, I was gonna say I might complete it normally, but I haven't done that in ages. Oh, great! Yes! Thanks. I mean, that kind of helped for a reset, but what even was that? I love this video game. Again, very close, but not quite. You need just the right position, because otherwise you're just gonna fall through. And I didn't even throw. Great. How did I hit that one up? Let's go. Okay, I need to be a bit more careful here. I'm legitimately thinking... I think I'm just going to complete the stage normally at this point, because I have not had this much trouble with the rock since the last run I did of this. So I actually know the route for the main stage because I routed all metals recently. So the way you can just beat the stage really quickly normally is by going around like this. And clipping through here, if I can get it. If I can get it. This is something I normally would not show, but because we kind of already lost a lot of time there, might as well, right? I actually never resorted to just using this. There's another slightly spherical rock you can get over to the right there, but I just always have troubles with that one as well. Anyhow, you can lift up this box and then SDT from it if you get it right. Now, let's try that again. I want to get this. Okay, well, I guess we're hot fingering it right now because... Yeah, if you fall with a low bar, pretty much the only way you can get through it is if you LE things. So if I have like 10% of my bar, I only really have to do like these constantly just to survive, and that's not very fun. It's unfortunate that we didn't get that trick, but hey, it's still fine because you can still see some really dumb clips if you do this properly. So I can clip through here, like so. I need to lightly tap. Ooh, really light bar. I'm actually hovering in such a way that it's not using the bar, but it is pushing me forward. And there we go, we landed here. If I can then jump over and fail, that's also nice. Yeah, when you mess up in this game, it's unforgiving. It's like, what even are you? Oh wait, I realized I could have water jumped if I wanted, but you have to do it from a standing jump if you want to water jump. You cannot do it from having hovered. So. If I then jump over here, this is very different than my usual Kingdom Valley, but... Oh great, more hot fingering it. No, oh man, I'm just gonna start with the rock again. Wow, this is terrible, but...
It's alright, you got it.
It's okay, there's a lot of time left still. This is Kingdom Valley at its worst. I cannot believe this rock. This rock is the true enemy of this game. I have no lives left. Yeah, we're just going to complete it normally. I'm just going to complete it normally and be very safe. I'm actually just going to get the one up there and then just go back. This is new for me. I have never failed this trick so much, but it's fine. It's fine. Sometimes the best part of a run is when the run is as bad as the game normally is. So, you know, not getting everything perfectly is also just as acceptable. Casual percent, everyone. Let's go. Yeah, this was a really good pace until then, but, you know, this stage hates everyone who comes into contact with it. So, yeah. If there are any donations, good time to read them is now, because this is kind of bad, but hey, it's all good.
We got a $5 donation from Anonymous.
Wowee. Thank you again, guys, for donating. I'm sorry for the dreadfulness that is this stage, but not much I can do about it. This will still be underestimate, by the way. I'm almost certain.
I'm sure nobody blames you for Kingdom Valley.
You know, the most iconic stage in the game is also kind of the ones that's the most terrible to run through in almost every stage, or almost every story. Kingdom Valley Sonic's fun. This stage is annoying. Shadows is fine. Worst stage in the game, in my opinion, is... I'm trying to think.
The lava area.
Oh, Flame Core. Yeah, I hate Flame Core, which is the next stage.
Oh, my favorite.
Flame Core has RNG-based kill the run meteors that can just randomly hit you after you've gone across a panel, like a jump panel, and force you to die, which is lovely. Also, look at this. I love this game so much. I love it so much.
What in the world?
This is really something now. Sometimes there's beauty in how broken a game is. I'm trying to think of where the next one up is, if there's even one nearby. So, I think there is, so I'll be safe. I swear if I game over here, this is going to be interesting. I won't. I'll do my best not to. I guess I'm just gonna do this casually because I don't want to have to go through this stage again and also all the rest again. I have no rings. This game makes me hot finger it all the time. That does not sound right, I realize. Never mind. It's okay. It's Sonic 06. Let's go over here. Are there one-ups here? I'm trying to remember. There is a completely useless checkpoint, though. This is definitely something right now. I feel very happy. Again, sometimes there's beauty in a run going bad. There's a one-up right there. I want it, I want it, I want it. Please let me clip through here. I've never actually clipped through here before, so I don't even know if it's possible. But in 06, the answer is typically yes, and the answer is yes. Even back out, nice. I'm just gonna play a bit safe here, just so I don't die. I really don't want to do the stage over again. Yeah, this is tight. I'm so sorry, everyone. This is not what I expected. Okay, get that ring. And that rock, normally, if you get it first try, skips all of this. So you can see it's a big time save worth going for, but it's really annoying to get sometimes. We're at the end of the first section, though, so we should still be good to be on pace. So sorry about that. That was, like, the worst Kingdom Valley ever. And yet, this will still be underestimate.
Doing just fine.
It should be. I'll have to wait and see.
Oh, we have a few more donations here from Bahamut X. I heard something about 6K, of which we have officially broken that number with a $20 donation.
Fitting number. Given that this game is completely labeled 06, so I'll take it.
And we've
Anyways,
got another $5 donation. Oh.
You can continue on. I'm just combating.
You're good. It's some use. Take this, a $5 donation from Anonymous.
Thank you for that. We needed one of those, or else it wasn't an 06 run, of course. Even though that's actually the easiest boss now, by the way. Silver's boss in Sonic Story, I actually found new strats for, and they're pathetically easy and save like 3 seconds off the previous strat. Huh. So that boss is really easy, actually, in Sonic Story. Yeah, this should still be underestimate. This is going to be a close one, to be honest. I'm really hoping I don't have the coveted title of the first run I've ever had that's been above an hour in like 3 years. Okay, good. So Sonic here has the gems. We have that completed Sonic Story to unlock these gems, and they're used in Silver Story. So in the game's programming, the game was supposed to set the color of the gauge of the action gauge relative to like the gem you had, and that function's broken. So the entire function asking the game, oh, the action gauge is tied to the gems, is broken, which means you can use it infinitely. There is no limit to how much you can use these gems. They're supposed to be, but there isn't because of one line of code and one misspelling. So instead of completing any of this as silver, we can just constantly purple gem as Sonic over to this area. And then once here, we can defeat these enemies as Sonic, who has better combat abilities in general than Silver, and finish the stage. Finally done Kingdom Valley, thank God.
The best programmed Sonic game.
No sweat.
This, just to give reference, this is currently about 12 minutes behind my PB, which is world record. But we're still going to be fine. If we're 12 minutes behind... Ooh, this is going to be interesting. 12 minutes behind exactly, that means I have to get pretty much on pace with my world record here in order to get underneath an hour. Let's go. We can do this.
Whew. We got another $60.69 donation from Let's Play TK.
Amazing.
It's a tiny smiley face with a
Tiny
3.
smiley face. That's good. Anyways, Flame Core is arguably one of the harder ones to do, so hopefully I don't mess it up. I'm going to try a different strat that actually isn't done in my PB, so that will actually save time if I get it. So, hopefully. Yeah, man, this is going to be a tight one. Something I didn't actually mention, if you teleport dash while on the ground, which there's a 2-frame window to do that just from double mashing A, or you can pause buffer it, you'll actually convert the momentum of your teleport dash into your slide, into like the ground, and we call it a teleslide. Allows you to like clip through certain doors, and it's a pretty fast movement in like hub worlds. Because it's actually a bit easier than the ETD, but it also means you need to like get carpal tunnel from it, which is fun. So I don't always do it, but sometimes I do it. It's also really easy to do just in general if you're like on any sort of slope. Anyways, we have the invincibility now, so we can just say goodbye to the lava. Doesn't matter anymore, and we can do more of those teleport dash slides. Also, I was telling you guys that Barrel Captain was a good luck charm. Barrel Captain we did not get, and of course, Kingdom Valley goes poor. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's real. Anyways, we actually can't clip through the door over there, so instead we do an SDT around the door like this, and then just end up in the bottom of the section here. No biggie. But yeah, we can just lightly tap over here. You see all these meteors here. They're random, and they can hit you after you've finished the last bit of this area over here, which is why this stage sucks. As Silver, at least, you can hover back, but as Sonic or Shadow, you have no recovery. That was really close to hitting. You can see how close it gets sometimes, and that's nerve-wracking.
Wait, it can hit you when you launch?
Yeah. And as Sonic or Shadow, you have no recovery because you can't hover after. As Silver, you can recover technically. I've had it happen to me. Every runner, it's like an inauguration thing. It's like you've become an 06 runner. You now have to get bopped by Flame Core. Anyways, I'm gonna do something called Kerfuffle here, or try to do something called Kerfuffle. I love the name Kerfuffle, by the way. Really do love it. It's a good. It'll fit. If I get this, you'll see exactly why this is called Kerfuffle. I need to set up this. I'm gonna throw this away. I need to set up this box here. I'm gonna do 2 teleport dashes, jump. I'm gonna stand in like roughly this corner, lift it up, hold X back. Ah man, I didn't hold X enough. I actually did a slap move instead. So let me try that again. Double tap, twice, lift up. Get ready. Ah, that wasn't high enough. Let me try that again. But basically, the physics engine is great in this game. It really works well.
Clearly.
Okay, this is not going as well as I hoped, but I'm still going to try for it because there's no reason that it would... There's actually pretty much no negative thing of trying for this, because you can still get a version of it that's useful. It's actually based on like how the box spawns, and there's like 1 of 6 faces it can spawn on. So like it's still random-ish, but it's not like super random. There we go, that was a good one. I think I'm still too low because there's a death plane over there, so I'm actually going to play it safe and go over here. But the reason why that works is, I do 2 to not to like push the box, but rather to set the gauge to exactly the right amount. Each teleport dash takes 15 of the bar itself, so you'll have 70 when you start up the lift there. And when you start the lift there, what happens is the game is like has like a certain set amount you can lift up something, like up until a certain point. I forget what exactly it is, but like it stops at like 15 remaining, and because of that, you're at just the right position for whatever reason to like do that. It's like all the factors align really well, and so you just get that. It's really fun to get, and it still saves time, by the way, from doing that stage normally. Anyways, we're gonna lightly tap here to get hit in the air. Oh shoot, that's not good. Oh, and we're dead. Oh well. Yeah, we're gonna be a little bit behind, I think. This is the first time I've ever gotten a run that's been above an hour in some time. Yeah, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna wait to hover a little bit. I'm gonna jump a bit later. And I'm gonna just lightly tap. Try not to go too far down so I can recollect my rings in midair. Once we're here, I'm just gonna pause buffer the teleslides so that we can stay on the ground. That's not good. Oh. You can pause buffer through this wall, and we're done the stage at that point. And the endgame this time was not nice. Definitely not a nice endgame. So if I get massively good luck here with the next boss, this could be potentially world record for the next IL, or it would definitely get underneath about. I don't know how close we are to the estimate, but this has been something.
Well,
even 06 sometimes, by the way, just letting you know. 06 still can 06 anyone.
Oh, 06 can still 06 anyone.
And that has been shown through this run. I was 2 minutes behind at Trial Skip, and I was 12 minutes behind at Kingdom Valley. Let's go. But yeah, you were saying something? Sorry.
Oh, I want to say that we have officially met our incentive.
I get to watch a cutscene after this, and I accidentally disconnected my controller. Great.
Oh no!
Perfect timing. If you disconnect the controller, by the way, it will go to the pause screen automatically. So I need 3 hits from luck to get a 220 here. I got 1 out of the ones that are guaranteed, so this is not looking good. These are the Cocoa Puffs again, by the way. They return. That's 3 hits. I need a total of 2 more hits from luck. Otherwise, I'm just going to restart this boss and try again. So, for the longest time, we just thought this boss was pure RNG, and it still is, because you just need to get a lot of puffs in really good timing. And remember I mentioned earlier that the order in which you pick them up is the order in which you throw them? Yeah, that applies here. That means they can explode each other. They can explode themselves. I got a good batch here, but let's see if it actually throws properly. It does, and so this is a guaranteed 220. I don't think it could be a 150, but the best time that's ever been gotten for this is a 125, and that's it with getting 13 hits from luck. I think it's theoretically possible to get enough hits that you don't even need to do these sort of phases. By the way, if any of you haven't realized, all the King viewers out on the thing, he's Lucky Lucianoing us right now. He's doing, you gotta do it to them. I've noticed that, and I can't get it out of my head now, because every time I see it, it is just, you have to do it to them. It just is. Look.
Oh.
I love this video game.
Can't unsee it.
I know, right? This will be just above an hour, by the way. Yeah, it was a run. It was really good up until Kingdom Valley. And I practiced Kingdom Valley for this, but Other than that, it was a pretty good showing, though. I'm pretty happy with it. Anyways, to end this boss, you need to do a facepalm. And then we need to get a puff that's actually falling over here. It normally falls off, but we can just pick it up like that, and that means we can get extra hits from that. There are 5 hits on this platform. And then there's the God Puff to end it all. So once the God Puff is hit and the boss is over, that's the time. So roughest run I've had, and yet it's still just at estimate, huh? That's not bad. I'm glad I gave an hour. I was like speaking to myself, maybe I should switch to 55 minutes. No, Kingdom Valley can do that to you. Okay, and time. Okay, funnily 26, of course.
Hey, congrats.
Anyways, that's Silver Story no MSG. Normally a bit easier in the late game, but that was still alright. I mean, it wasn't great. My world record's about 47-25, so that's just most of that time loss was in Kingdom Valley, though. So I mean, I can't be completely upset. This run is an unusual inversion of how I usually perform. Usually, Wave Ocean Blaze goes terribly. Usually, I'm okay with Kingdom Valley, and then it's like the complete opposite here. Like the amount of times I restarted here at Kingdom Valley is basically the amount of times you'd see me restart at Wave Ocean Blaze. Yeah, Wave Ocean Blaze went perfect, so that was something. Anyways, I guess we have to watch the kick cutscene now. So now that we've finished over, we have the theater room, and of course I've memorized the name of this. This is known as 10 years ago. The cutscene. I'm not going to show the full cutscene, I'm just going to show the part that everyone came here for, so.
Chaos control.
Good. Good video game. There's other stuff that happens there, but that doesn't matter, right? So I'm actually going to switch profiles and prepare for the glitch exhibition, which is actually, I fooled you all, it's one glitch. I mean, technically glitches and glitch exhibition. Technically, we only promised one glitch, and we're going to only get one glitch, so I'm going to go over to my MSG practice file. So I was mentioning mission select glitch, and I realized I never explained what mission select glitch is. Mission select glitch is when you are able, so when you normally have, like, certain missions normally allow you to, like, go into them and go, hey, we want to talk to you, want to do this random thing, and you hit yes or no. Certain missions don't. Oh, I need to go to the other save. Whoops. Certain missions do, and certain missions don't. So mission select glitch is essentially dying with the yes-no prompt active. We can then set up from there, being able to enter a mission from another mission, and then quitting back to the original mission, finishing it or dying, which then the game doesn't know where to put us, so it warps us to the credits. It doesn't count as beating the category, it does, it's the any percent run, but it doesn't count as beating the category for the purposes of the game. The flag's not there to say that you can go to last story, for instance. It does actually save as 100%, but you can't go to last story if you do it. So, I'm going to show off something called Solely on a Castle Town in Dusty Desert. Now, that sounds about as what you think it is. We're going to spawn the castle town in the stage Dusty Desert.
Oh.
So, the way we do this, I have a save here currently at the stage before Dusty Desert. I have it saved at like the state before Dusty Desert. So, what we want to get is, we want to first go over to mission 6 over here, which is very close to the edge, and die while the yes no text box is active. Also, Amy's behind us. You want to keep keen content of Amy right here. Very keen. She's gonna die again, don't worry. It's all good. So yeah, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna talk to Pedro. And we're gonna get the yes no text box active. And that means the yes no text box is kept on when we actually respawn. I'm not holding the X button at the moment. In order to do something later, we're going to need to hold the X button. So I'm actually going to go over here to the Accordion Man, the best NPC in the game. There are no other answers to this, honestly. You have to say the Accordion Man's the best NPC. So notice how we have Amy behind us. Amy actually acts like a regular player character. So she can actually talk to NPCs if we press yes on the yes/no text box here. She will act as the player character as we do this, which means she will talk to the Accordion Man. And that leads to the text being stored. So I'm going to exit the mission here. And once we exit the mission here, you'll see Amy talking to the Accordion Man, but Silver still has free reign, and the text is still on screen. This makes up for the fairly lackluster performance in my actual run. I'm almost certain of it. So Amy's currently talking to the NPC here. And we are able to move along. And also, Amy responds behind us, currently standing like it's been drowned or something. I love this. Look, she just responds standing, now, constantly, over and over again. Like, you know, right about, I think it's right about here? Yeah, okay, good timing, me. We can actually skip through all the text, and we actually just need to get, even if we die, the text will come back. So I just need to get MSG yet again. Same NPC over here. Get MSG, and I'm going to want to hold X on the yes button now. So what I want to do now, I now have both the yes no text box and the accordion player's dialogue on the same thing. So in this game, important things to mention are the B button advances text but doesn't interact with the yes no text box. The A button interacts with NPCs. The X button interacts with NPCs. The A button advances text. Look at this lovely text mash, like it's SpaghettiOs or something. And Amy is still spawning behind us. It's a lovely game. We're going to go over to Mission 8, the mission that we normally need to complete to access Dusty Desert. And I'm going to do so the game, the reason I'm holding X is we can actually input the X button for 1 frame if we pause the game, let go of X, use the Xbox menu to advance 1 frame, and then hold X again. And we'll talk to the NPC here. Now, the NPC here, notice that we have text storage now. The text for Beautiful Elise is constantly in the background now, even on the load screen. This NPC has an interesting mechanic with his text box. His text box is set such that you're supposed to, like, constantly... when you finish that text, it's supposed to warp you into Mission 8. That aspect of his text box has now been transferred to the text box we have with the accordion player. Which means as soon as we finish the accordion player's dialogue, we will warp to Mission 8. So what we're going to do now is, we're going to actually do the same trick I did in OMSG. We're going to do the same glitch that I did to skip Mission 8. Which is using the box. But every time I press X, A, or B, the text advances. There are 6 text boxes remaining, so I need to be able to get this trick in less than that. So if I just go over here, and I lift up the thing, I'm going to try my best not to jump as much. Even if you hit a spring, it's not jumping, so. Shoutouts to Kingdom Valley, by the way. We stand a good stage. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to press the box against it. I just need to make sure it's good enough. That's good enough, I think. I'm going to set myself in the middle of it. Push up. Low down, and we got the glitch pretty much. We're then going to jump yet again to get into the mirror. And now we're entering into Dusty Desert, and notice the text box is still on the screen. Gonna skip the cutscene, that doesn't impact the text at all.
Kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is. All of my love and all my dreams are only for you. That's not what the accompaniment sounds like. But yeah, as soon as I'm gonna quickly press A and B to skip through the text. You hear the lovely mashing. And now we've entered mission 8 from the stage we were supposed to get unlocked by completing this mission. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, we're doing it in sort of reverse order. You know when you go to dessert and then you have dinner? That's what basically this is like. We're gonna complete this mission. We shouldn't take too long, I hope. This is true silver combat hours, everyone. This is done normally in all medals, of course, because you need all the S ranks from all the missions, so... Yeah, I've kind of gotten somewhat used to this. Look at that nice dodge. I'm just gonna go for speed rather than score, because we need score as well in the all medals one, so... Arguably... Just go through here and stun all the enemies. Get this last one here. As soon as we're done the mission, the game is like, okay, you've completed the mission, so we're going to load in the actors and the stage elements from the hub world. And the game basically sets it such that you're supposed to go back to the thing you were in before. Like the stage or the area you were in before. This is why mission select glitch works. The game doesn't know what to do when you finish a mission and then go into another mission, so it's just like, load the end credits. That's fine. It's good. Okay, don't worry about it. Just load the end credits. We're loading into Dusty Desert now, and the game thinks it's the hub world, but it's still Dusty Desert, but it's also the hub world. So it's going to use the coordinates of the hub world as we load into here, but it's going to use the set of the Dusty Desert. So that leads to this. Let's wait. That leads to this. So everyone's infinitely falling, who is on actual ground in Dusty Desert. So Lord Regis is over there just chilling. The mirror to the area that we're in is in here. The NPC is right here. You see, love him. So it has all the coordinates of like the so both silver in. This is not the normal start point for Dusty Desert as we saw. This is the spawn point in the hub world placed into Dusty Desert. So we happen to be in a section that actually works for us to like get through. All the actors and objects here are the same as in Stolen Castle Town, so there's no goal ring, for instance. But there are a bunch of floating chairs over here with all the occupants on the ground, which I like. You know, really nice stuff.
Oh.
Infinitely falling boxes over to the side here. It has all the physical properties of Dusty Desert, by the way, but it has all the actors of Stolen Castle Town. So, for instance, if I say yes here to this mission, it will actually take me to the mission. I can complete it and then warp back to this glitched version of the hub world. So, and not to mention, it still has start over and continue, and a timer, so it thinks we're in the stage. It actually legitimately thinks we're in the stage. But we're also in the hub world. As you can see, they're trying their best, really. I commend them. There's some other good ones as well, like the Infinitely Falling Man over to the corner here. Gotta love him. That's a shopkeeper, actually. Nicely done. You gotta love look at all of them. Look how wonderful they all are. Good Solionans. There's this girl who is currently bench-headed, and there's this other girl who's practicing to become silver. I think she's doing a really good job. You know, just chilling reading a newspaper. I'm really glad we can get money by collecting rings, you know, all that sort of stuff. This one's good too. But yeah, even if you can see that there's still a time. Also, this is Bob McFloaty and the nearby child. They're normal here, so our own sort of 06 like canon is that they're actually meant to be in Dusty Desert. They're never were meant to be in the hub world, because, I mean, why would they? This spring still works as well. And if I actually go over to the mirror at the end here, it will actually take me to Dusty Desert from Dusty Desert. Yes. And that's how you correct this, by the way. You just go over back to the mirror where it originally was, and you just jump into it. And this is why I really wanted this incentive to be met, so thank you for meeting it, for one. I'm really glad you hadn't probably seen this before, Yeen. Is that right?
I have never seen this at all. No.
Yeah. If I jump into the mirror here, it's gonna be like, oh, let's play the cutscene again. Well, we have to play the cutscene, you know. And then we're back in Dusty Desert, and oddly enough, the score, the rings, which there aren't in the hub world, but they would still be transferred, and the time are kept. So I'm going to load in with about 2 minutes and 29 seconds on the timer. because it thought I had been investigated this entire time, but I haven't been. But I also have been. So that's the glitch exhibition. That is one of the best glitches in the entire game. From setup to just payoff. It's not useful for anything, unfortunately, but God, is it funny. Anyhow, that's pretty much Sonic 06, everyone. Not my best showing, but hey, still roughly on schedule, so I'm definitely good with an hour-long estimate. If you guys want to see more 06 stuff, you can follow me on Twitter or Twitch at FocusSight, or on Twitter at Refocused with a K, REFOKUSED. Everyone in the 06 community is really helpful and willing to help people learn the game more. There are other categories in this. There's a 10-hour-long category, which is essentially the all gold medals category. No one does it. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so glad that we hit this incentive. I'm so glad we've hit 6K. I really hope the rest of this marathon goes well. Please keep watching. There's a lot more still in the lineup here. I'm looking forward to Wind Waker HD myself, because who doesn't love Italian as my text? Thank you so much for having me. It was fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hey, thank you so much for running here. And thank you for showing me.
I'm so glad I could. I'm so glad we could get Amy drowned, and Lord Regis constantly plummeting, and Bench Lady. She's gonna be the new protagonist in the next game, I'm pretty sure. Bench Lady.
You can see it.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, take care.